Hi, my name is Karen Richey. I am the Health and Human Sciences Educator in Marshall County. Today, I'd like to talk to you about portion distortion. In 2024, 1 in 4 adults were chronically obese. And for India, obesity was prevalent for about 35 to 40% of the population in Indiana. It is an epidemic, so it's a complex chronic disease that has many contributing factors. In fact, the chronic illness affects millions of Americans nationwide. Some factors are harder to control, such as having access to healthy, affordable foods, safe and convenient places for physical activity, support systems that really advocate healthy, active lifestyles, as well as managing stress and getting the recommended amount of sleep. Health behaviors, understanding nutrition, and healthy eating are not easy, but we are here to help you. And in doing so, we want you to think about low calorie, nutritious foods paired with proper serving sizes that leads to an effective diet, healthy lifestyle, and overall well-being. And that's where portion sizes come into consideration. Portion size is what someone chooses to eat. Serving size is a measured amount of food or drink, a standardized measurement of food and drink sizes. As you can see in this graphic, there are 3 different sizes. And the fact of the matter is it's depending on what you select. Listed on the nutritional facts panel on packaged foods, you will see that size. And by law, serving sizes must be based on how much food people consume and not what they should eat. So generally accepted sizes for all foods and drinks are listed. The nutritional facts label has been updated to highlight calories and serving sizes. These are now larger and bolder on the labels. Columns are now required if the package could be considered a single serving to help show how many calories and nutrients you would ingest if you ate the entire package. Much larger packages that would not be considered single servings do not require the dual label. Let me give you an example. This would be that type of package. And a lot of times we see party size. And thus, again, hopefully you're not going to be eating the entire package. So you are looking at the serving sizes. And in this case, it's about 14 servings per container in this party size package of pretzels. A little bit different when you happen to buy different sizes. So this graphic shows changes from the old serving sizes to the new serving sizes. Other examples are bottles of soda. The bottles went from 12 ounces to 20 ounces, now 24 ounces even. But as you look at this graphic, you can see that for ice cream, it's now a little larger. Instead of a half a cup, it's now 2/3 cup for a serving. And that is now the standard reference amount for ice cream. Today's yogurts are packaged in 6-ounce containers versus the previous 8 ounces. And that's because FDA is now using the 6 ounces reference as the amount for yogurt. So you wonder, how much should I put on my plate? Well, if you use my plate as a baseline for how your portions should look on your plate, it really is pretty simple. This chart shows the calories and the categories, some examples with amounts needed for a 2,000 calorie diet. Now, not all of us consume a 2,000 calorie diet. However, that is a baseline. So you have to think, if I consume more calories, then I'm going to add more. or actually add less. If I have a 1,400 calorie diet, then again, those serving sizes should be less. So some may need to adjust their plate. For example, a breastfeeding mother or those who are very active may require additional calories or higher protein on their plate. You always want to talk with your doctor for specific requirements. And you can always go on the website of My Plate. And again, it is from a government website for recommendations. I do want to note, though, that not all fats are healthy, and we need to think about the healthy fats that are needed in our diet because unsaturated fats, such as olive oil, are wonderful to supplement in our cooking, but you want to remember moderation. Low-calorie foods like fruits and vegetables, they help sustain good body shape, heart health, and manage obesity. High-calorie foods can have increased levels of saturated fat and cholesterol and can lead to severe heart problems, increased obesity, and heart disease. As individuals, eyeballing it, so to speak, is sometimes the easiest way to figure out serving sizes because it can be difficult for some people. So what you want to do is finding easy comparisons that can help when learning what portions are to go or as a general guideline. On this graphic, you'll see that there's a few examples. Don't assume that you know what 1 cup of rice looks like on a plate. When you think about a cup as being a baseball, that is about 1 cup. So you might be surprised how much rice is in 1 cup, but how little 1 cup of pasta looks like. So as you think about this, start with understanding your serving sizes. You can get a good baseline on where your portions are on your plate. I think this graphic gives lots of examples that are easy to remember, especially if you're thinking about 3 ounces of protein, with it being maybe a burger or a poultry piece of meat. Think about a deck of cards. Also, if it happens to be grilled or baked fish, 3 ounces is not going to be very thick, so then you need to think about the size of a checkbook. If you think about these, even if you're eating cheese, up here in the left-hand corner, you can see there's 4 dice, and that's going to actually amount to about 1.5 ounces of cheese. So you can kind of relate that to your serving sizes. Portion distortion, the name of our topic. So let's get to it. So what is portion distortion? Remember, I said it's consumption of large, oversized portions, but they are viewed as normal sizes. And these photos show changes from over 20 years ago to recently. Items have increased in calories from increased size and or caloric density. An example might be coffee with whole milk and a syrup versus coffee with milk and sugar. Most people would not eat half of a cheeseburger. They would say 1 cheeseburger is 1 serving. The same with a muffin. 1 whole muffin would be 1 serving. See how these calories have really changed just by the changes in portions. And these calories can really add up in just one day. So if you think about it, and you go to buy that muffin in 20 years difference, so to speak, from 210 calories to 500 calories. And that's about 290 more calories. Unfortunately, we don't see this size of muffin very often. We see the larger size, just like you see on the pasta. Okay, if you're thinking about what you're going to put on your plate, 1 cup of spaghetti with sauce and 3 small meatballs is really what you should be consuming. Instead, what we're thinking is normal is 2 cups of spaghetti with sauce and large meatballs, not small ones, but large ones. That adds up to 525 more calories. Now, when I said the comment about portion distortion, remember it's viewed as normal sizes if you're taking that larger portion, which really is not what we should be consuming. Portion control is important. So here are some high-calorie foods that can have increased levels of saturated fat and cholesterol, can really lead to severe heart problems, increased obesity, and heart disease. If you think about it, 20 years ago, you got 2 small pieces of pizza, 500 calories. Today, if you order that same large pizza or extra large and think you're going to eat those same 2 pieces, they're much larger because you have consumed 350 more calories. But we think that's the norm. Unfortunately, we forgot about portion sizes. So the same way with a cookie. Small little cookies versus those jumbo cookies. And unfortunately, even if you eat 3 of those cookies that are smaller, it's going to add up to, again, portion distortion because of the amount that you have consumed. When you see distorted sizes over the years, these can make you believe that these are now normal. And unfortunately, when we see this, we see sizes of our food portions depends on how we have seen them in our past. People unintentionally consume more calories when faced with larger portions. Eating mindlessly and not considering what is on your plate can change what you see as normal. If you think about it when you go through the drive-through and they say, do you want to add it up to the extra or the biggie size? That's portion distortion. You do not need those extra large sizes. How can 100 calories add up to 200 or even 300 calories? Well, without physical activity to burn those calories, these portion changes can feed into the obesity epidemic if individuals are not taking time to eat mindfully. Taking time to understand your portions can pay off if even it's just a few weeks or even a few months. This is a continual learning process. Don't think you can do it overnight. You want to keep educating yourself on what your portions look like. People are generally bad estimators. Practice makes perfect. Keep practicing and working on learning appropriate portions. One of the things that I think is really important is your plate size. And as you can see on that one bullet on the slide, the average plate size is 12 inches, which allows for larger servings. The easiest thing you can do is cut back on that serving plate size. Make it a 9-inch plate. Maybe go from 12 to 10 and then 10 to 9, because then you are putting on your plate a smaller portion. Also, you want to think about eating on the go and mindlessly snacking while bored or stressed. This too can also affect the overall consumption of what you are consuming. Be cautious about eating when you are bored or mindlessly eating from a package, especially when snacking. Some serving sizes are very small, but can contain high calories. For example, a trail mix or potato chips. The phrase, clean your plate is no longer a necessity. You want to keep thinking about what your portion sizes should be and what you feel like when you are full, and stop. Changing from eating to clear your plate to eating until you feel full is important. A smaller plate and eating slower can help make you feel fuller without eating oversized portions. Here are some small changes that can make a big difference. Where are you unconsciously changing your calories and portions? Ask yourself that. Can you adjust how you order to lower the caloric intake? Example here is coffee. You can substitute low-fat or no-fat milks, leave out the whipped cream, the easy sugar or sugar substitutes are some examples to lower that calorie intake. Want to keep your favorite drink just the way you like it? Easy. Just order a smaller size, smaller portion. Again, portion control. Many coffee shops will show you your caloric information on their apps or their websites. Take a look at the calories of your favorite coffee beverage. It's important to look at that. It's astonishing when you see how many calories are in some of these drinks. Some ways to adjust the calories just in this drink can ask for less. You can also order the venti with only 2 or 3 serve pumps instead of the standard 5 pumps. You can ask for skim milk or a low-fat nut milk alternative, or just order a smaller size. That way you still can get what you're after, the flavor, but not necessarily the total amount because of the calorie size or the consumption size. Okay, chocolate bars. They've gone from regular to king size. And chocolate bars are not usually packaged in that way. That lets you save your chocolate for later. As you can see, it's not individually, it's all one package. So take a look at the dual label for the king size bar versus the regular size bar. The difference in the size is just over 1 ounce, but the serving size changes from a single serving to 3 servings for the king size bar. Be mindful of the candies and sweets and how the packaging may make you feel like you need to eat the entire package in one setting. Reading that label is extremely important. You'll have a better idea of calories and serving sizes with the new transparent nutrition facts label. Unfortunately, many people will buy that king size bar and sit down and eat it all at once. So what can you do to burn up those calories? Well, you can start exercising. The fact is that additional calories contributes to obesity, and some activities may be that you already do at home. Some of these activities really burn a lot of calories. If you're lifting some weights for 1.5 hours, you're going to burn about 257 calories based on a 130-pound person. Playing golf, housekeeping, brisk walking, vacuuming, all of these can be considered activities that will burn calories, but you have to be doing them to actually burn those calories. I would really like to look at the one of brisk walking. 1 hour and 20 minutes burns approximately 305 calories. So again, if you want that larger drink, as I pointed out in the previous slide, or the candy bar, again, 340 calories here. And again, 370 calories here. Then just think, if I eat this or I drink this, I'm going to have to walk at least 1 hour and 20 minutes or more to burn up those calories. It's a trade-off. So here are some more exercises, maybe washing a car, light to moderate swimming, bicycling, heavy yard work for 1 hour burns approximately 440 calories. Again, that's based on a 154-pound person. But if you're viewing this in February, you might be still shoveling snow, and so it won't take long to burn up those 440 calories. I encourage you to find your baseline. Are there meals where portions on your plate may be out of control? Are there certain meals where your portions are harder to manage? Is your my plate imbalanced? Is your plate too grain heavy? Not enough protein or vegetables? A balanced meal can help manage hunger as well as sugar levels. Again, use smaller bowls and plates for your meals. The plate will still look full while portion sizes will be smaller. And also, you might consider kids' meals when grabbing fast food to go. Meal sizes for kids are smaller and usually cheaper. And think about calories. They do add up, so small adjustments can make big changes over time. Consider making changes in your eating habits and exercise routine to reduce unnecessary calories. I hope this has been helpful for you. These are some of the resources that I have used to bring this information to you. And I encourage you to check out any of these resources, as well as I want to remind you that we would like you to complete the curriculum that goes along with this program. And in doing so, that information is provided for you. And please remember, portion control is only up to you. Thank you and have a great day. And do the Qualtrics.